Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. It's the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until around 5 o'clock. Somewhere around 5 o'clock. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. I guess I should put this on silent. And my phone hasn't rang one time today. Soon as I go on here, it just decides it's gonna do something. That's all right. I see how you do. Let me see. Get all of the pertinent stuff up there so people can see everything. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Anthony Prosser says afternoon. Regina says F. I got an F already. I just started. Oh, I already got an F. Now I got to work my way up to at least a C. At least a C. Anthony says haircut. No, I didn't cut my hair. Erica says good afternoon. Good afternoon, Erica. Regina says good afternoon. Sean says what's good from Atlanta. All right. Maria says good afternoon, North College Hill. All right, North College Hill checking in. Crystal in the house. Checking in from work, Forest Park. All right. Crystal checking in from Forest Park. We got Lewis CK checking in. Adrian Broner signed with Don King yesterday. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing? I don't hear great things about Don King as a promoter and even as a person. So I don't know if that's a good thing. But I mean, he does get his fighters get fights. So okay. Rick says what? He on and on time? Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Let's see. We got Butler Brown. Good afternoon, Cartersville, Georgia. All right. We got Andrea, good afternoon from Gulf Manor. We got R-Dub. I might have to block R-Dub. I might have to block him. Like, look, I don't mind people, you know what I'm saying? People, whatever. But if all you got is nothing, why even waste my time with it? So I'm considering it. We'll see what happens. Let's see. We got Jeannie. Good afternoon, Jeannie. We got Anthony in the house. Good afternoon, Anthony. We got Terrence Howard, the real Terrence Howard. I saw the little video you did. You did a tour. You showed us La Grande. You showed us the Buzz. You showed us the Wiz. Showed us the production studios. You showed us 100.3 Cincinnati's R&B station. Everything looks so different than when I was there. It looks so different. When you went into the La Grande studio, I was like, where's he at? Did they move? But then you showed outside and I could still see City Hall. That still looks the same. But everything looks so different. So, wow, that Radio 1, they coming up. We got Antonio. What's up, nephew? I think if he says Unc, I'm supposed to say Neff, right? I don't know. He my nephew. But what's up, Little Nick? You still Little Nick to me. I know that ain't, but you still Little Nick to me. Brent, good afternoon. The afternoon X-Men and women. Somebody said Professor X used to call the radio station. I was like, I didn't know that. Professor X, the X-Men, all of that stuff. I didn't know. We got Pamela. Pamela says, good afternoon. Checking in from North Avondale. Miss Pittsburgh says, good afternoon, everyone. R-Dub. Okay, whatever. Look, you push it as long as you feel like it. And, we'll see where it goes. Tara says it's all new. Jeannie says, your screen flashing. Is it? It's not on this end. It's not flashing on this end. So if there's something wrong with, my connection or something like that, then we'll see what happens. Anthony says to like and share. R-Dub, he wants attention today. I'll give you a little bit of attention, R-Dub. How did I start it? Tell me how I started it. What did I say to you to start it? When you really think about the logic of that, R-Dub, it doesn't make sense. Here's how you could say I started it. If the first time I saw your name and you were just saying, hello, Emanuel, and I said something insulting to you, then you'd be like, oh, he started it. My guess is the first time I saw your name, I just said, R-Dub. And then you said something insulting, and then I responded. That's my guess. See, I got a history, right? My history is not the first time you see somebody's name, insult them. That's not my history. So there's a really, really, really good chance that whatever it is, you started it. I just joined in. That's a really good chance. But I'm giving you wanted some attention. You started off the show wanting attention, so I'll give you some attention just for a moment. How did I start it? Tell me how I started it. And if I started it, I will apologize to you sincerely from the heart. Tell me, how did I start it? All right. And until he answers, Antonio says, looks good to me so far. Crystal says it's not flashing on my end. All right. And Lewis says me either. Daryl says, happy Disgusted Friday. What's the topic? Okay. Yo Underwood says, good afternoon, everyone. Antonio says, don't make me log into YouTube. That's not true. I did not start the disrespectful stuff. So I'm giving you an opportunity to tell me how I started it. This is a perfect opportunity for you to tell me how I started it. Hold on a second, y'all. Sorry, looks like I will have that little baby. I will have that little baby this weekend. You can't beat that. Now I got to act irritated all weekend. Everything she asks me, I have to act like I don't want to do it. Now I'm going to do it different this weekend. When they bring her over, I'm going to be like the super nice grandfather. I'm going to be like the super nice grandfather. She gonna think something is totally weird. She's not gonna like it. She's not gonna. I remember my kids. They used to, and their fathers, and when I would be like, yes, go, buddy. You got it, buddy. Yes, buddy. And when I would do that, my kids would be like, what are you doing? I would be like, I'm encouraging you. They would be like, you don't encourage like that. That's not how you do it. I don't like that. That feels uncomfortable. Every once in a while, I would try to switch it up on him. My son would be playing baseball. I'd be like, you got it, buddy. You got it, buddy. Come on, you're going to hit it, buddy. You're going to hit it. And sometimes he would step out of the box, and they do the hand to the referee. And he would look back at me and say, Daddy, don't do that. They don't like me being that person. I guess because they know that's not who I actually am. But it looks like I will have the grandbaby. Can't beat that. Hold on, let me see. I'm scrolling. Where am I at? Okay, there I am. I'm still waiting for how did I start it. Come on, if I started it, there should be a way. You should be able to tell me how. Come on. I'm listening. Kelly Prather says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Kelly. Miss Pittsburgh says, oh my goodness, here we go. I don't know. Somebody wants to know, did I dig up his grandmama? I didn't. I don't even think I threatened to dig up his grandmama. I might have threatened to F his mama once. Once. But that was way down the line. And that was only because I think she probably needed it. But, Mrs. Livingston didn't like that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. Nick says, so you really used to do this to us. I knew you really wanted to do that fun stuff with us. Sounds like Lincoln will have his granddaughter this weekend. I don't know nothing about that. Let's see. TC says, TGIF. Afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Somebody did ask me what's the topic. I got a few little topics. And we'll see what happens. Hello, Brenda. Brenda Early. Checking in from Fairfield. Terry Anderson. Good afternoon. Tessie Wheaton. Good afternoon to you as well. And Kelly Prather says, oh my, I'm not sure what you oh my into. Let's say, remember not too long ago, and everybody else who might be on, hello. Even though you didn't say hello, I'm saying hello to you. Everyone else, oh, by the way, I changed the camera angle a little bit, did some slightly different things. So tell me if it's a little better, about the same, or worse. Maybe a little better, about the same, or worse. I got to get a longer cord for my earpiece because the little cord, you can see it behind my back where I run the cord. So I got to get a slightly longer cord for my earpiece because I had to move away from there. So yeah, tell me, is it a little better, a little worse, or about the same? Myosha says, happy Friday. This was a long broke week. She just rubbing it in because she's rich. She's rubbing it in because she's rich. Myosha says, you look a little ashy. Somebody might say you was trying to throw a shot, but I don't actually think you are. I think I know what you're saying. And hold on, let me see if I can fix that. This may or may not fix it. It won't necessarily mess anything up, though. So if we do that there, and we do that there, maybe do that there. What about that? Not sure. And then push that about there. Hopefully I don't still look ashy. This phone just ringing like crazy now. Let me see. Regina says, looks about the same. Everybody's saying, look about the same. Miss Pittsburgh says, it looks much better and clearer. Well, all right. Can't beat that. Lewis says, it looks exactly the same. Terrence says, the white background is washing you out a bit, but okay. As long as I don't change my skin tone to look like funeral home makeup, all right. And he says, I wasn't throwing shade. You really look gray or ashy, and I had to drop a ton of money on something. So yes, this was a broke week. All right. You had a ton of money to drop on something. So it was a good week for you. Brendan says it looks better. So, all right, a little bit of a mixed bag, but I'm still working with it. I need a new lens. I got to get a new lens for this camera. These lenses were like my starter lenses, so they were cheap. So I went on ahead and got them, but the actual lens that I wanted was a lot more expensive. But I let the dude at the camera shop talk me out of it. He was like, I don't know that you really need to spend that much money on a lens. I can sell you both of these lenses for like really cheap. And I was like, okay, I tried it. They're not bad, but my ocean stay flexing. She does. And she try to see, she good with it. Like she try to do it like, like I said, she real try to be like humble. Like, somebody saying, oh, I don't have any money. Well, why don't you have any money? Well, I mean, you know how much it costs to pay for maids to clean up a 10-bedroom mansion? Did you just brag to me that you got maids and a 10-bedroom mansion? No, I'm talking about the fact that, I'm broke. That you just said you paying for maids to clean up a 10-bedroom mansion. But the point is that I'm broke. We know what you're really doing. How expensive? Well, these two lenses themselves, I think I paid like $124 for both of them combined. I think the lens that I wanted was like $1,500. So he convinced me to get these two as opposed to the one that I wanted, which I guess was a good thing. I mean, they work. They're just not as, there's a difference when you're talking about the glass and everything. There's a difference. Lewis says, what's really cheap? I just told you, I'm pretty sure it was $124 for the two lenses. And that's cheap. Did you just say, no, you're mishearing things. All right, but remember when I told y'all about they were trying to pass a law to stop people from live streaming their police interactions? Remember I told y'all that? Y'all, hold on, let me put the chat up there. Because every once in a while I glance over. Because I made some changes, now all the stuff that I look at is over here. So I have to look all the way over here to look at my screens. And then I have to reach all the way over here to get to my sound. So this is my control, my mixer. Of course, the camera is there. Screen number 1 is here. Screen number 2 is here. Sound is here. So when you see me looking around, you have some idea what I'm doing. What do these lenses do? They just look much better. They're much clearer. They just look much better. But $1,500 is really not a lot of money to spend for a camera lens, especially like a cinema lens. It's not a lot of money at all. Not at all. And that's what I was going cheap on the lenses, and then he hit me with these, which were really cheap. So I was like, okay, I can go with those. But that's all they do. They just look better. And I did not say that you had a maid. I was using that as an example. of the way that you say things. And we know you're really bragging, but you saying it like, you're complaining about not having money. Like when you was talking about your breasts. Like, we were going to do that Janet Jackson thing, but I don't think my husband's hands are big enough to handle my breasts. Right, you wasn't bragging about the size of your breasts. You wasn't. That's what I'm saying. We know what you're saying when you say stuff like that. And this is not a turtleneck hoodie. This is a regular hoodie. It just happened to be pulled back a little bit more than it probably should be. Would it be okay to pass my number to Rick Jr.? Oh boy. Let's see. That's on the less expensive side for a lens. Now imagine the price of the rest of the camera. Actually, you can get the camera body a lot of times, not always. A lot of times the camera body could be cheaper than the lenses. Lenses, look, if you ever really get into photography, ask a photographer. I'm not a photographer and I'm not a cinematographer. I'm just some guy who, is trying to figure things out. But if you ask a lot of people who actually do this, like do videography and cinematography and photography, all of the ographies. If you ask them, they will tell you lenses ain't cheap. Lenses are typically, I'm saying typically, like, I know every situation. From my understanding, lenses can be the most expensive thing in your bag. So, for those of you who don't know that. Now, back to what I was saying. You did say that. You did say that. I could go back and pull it up. I'm not going to, but you did say that. You did. So I was talking about police wanting to make it illegal for people to live stream at traffic stops. Hold on, let me pause that again. One of the things that I'm thinking about doing is on Fridays, we're going to do First Amendment Fridays. So we're either going to feature a channel that does feature a channel that does First Amendment audits. I need some water. I need an assistant. I'll call Dave Stinger. I might hire Dave Stinger because I need an assistant. I do all of this stuff all by myself, and I need me an assistant. But anyway, Fridays may be First Amendment Fridays, where we highlight a channel that does First Amendment audits or highlight some story to help us understand our rights. So everything won't be like a First Amendment audit. Some stuff will just be knowing your rights. That'll be it. Some stuff will just be knowing your rights. So, but it'll all be packaged under First Amendment Fridays. I'm thinking about that. Not 100% there yet. But yeah, the police were, I don't remember exactly where this was, but they were trying to stop people from live streaming their encounters with police. It has gone to court, and there's an update on that. And instead of me giving you my rambling updates, because I'm kind of like Trump. Like, I don't think like Trump. But when I talk, I feel like Donald Trump sometimes. You know how Donald Trump, he starts out a speech and he'll say, we're great America, America founded it. And then he rambles into something else, but then he gets back to what he was talking about. I feel like I do that. No, I don't feel like I do that. I know I do that. And I kind of don't like it. But if I don't say it and I don't write it down, that's why I need an assistant. If I don't say it and I don't write it down, I will forget. So I got to say it when I think it. Otherwise, if you watch this for any amount of time, you've experienced it. I'll be like, what was I about to say? Oh, I don't remember what I was about to say. And then I never say it until like the end. And then I'll be like, oh, I was about to say something. And then contextually, it makes no sense. But it would have made perfect sense in the minute. Yeah. So I want you to get it from somebody who can talk intelligently about it and give you this update. So the civil rights lawyer, write that down. The civil rights lawyer. That's this guy's name. He's got a channel on YouTube, and he brings a lot of this stuff out. And he talks about it. And I probably should have called him and said, hey, can I highlight your channel on my channel? But I didn't. So hopefully he don't sue me. But from the civil rights lawyer, there is an update on that particular case. So let's.
Do you remember this case, the video that I posted a few months back about whether or not there's a constitutional right for people to live stream their encounters with police officers? Well, there's a huge update in that actual case that you're not going to want to miss, or rather misunderstand.
He pulled behind me because he seen two young black people driving. That's what it was. No stoplights on the street nowhere. I stopped at all 3 stop signs.
We so good, y'all, man. At? We just going. I'm recording every time we get stopped.
Well, as well as y'all should. Or whatever it's called. He was way over there.
We good so far, but.
So what kind of stoplight? It ain't no stoplight.
We ain't run no stop sign though.
It ain't no stoplight.
I definitely know that.
No, it can't be so much, man.
What we got? Facebook Live, cuz?
Yup.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do Facebook Live because that's a officer safety issue.
Man, get off my phone, man. Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
Facebook Live?
Yeah.
we're not going to have, okay? Because that lets everybody y'all follow on Facebook that we're out here.
Yeah.
There might be just one of me next time, okay? Lets everybody know where y'all are at. We're not going to have that. If you want to record, that is just fine. We record too. So in the future, if you want a Facebook Live, your phone's going to be taken from you.
How? Is that a law?
And if you don't want to give up your phone, you'll go to jail.
Is that a law?
As I explained in the prior video, live stream video removes the ability of dishonest cops to destroy evidence and conceal their misconduct. That's a good thing for us, but not surprisingly, they don't like that. So they attempted to find a way around it. What is it? Of course, officer safety. Then you had this traffic stop involving Dijon Sharp in Winterville, North Carolina, which then turned into a federal civil rights lawsuit. And as I discussed in the first video, that case was lost actually at the trial court level, and it just appeared to have backfired against the plaintiff and in favor of the government. Well, fortunately now that has changed. Last week, the U.S. Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned the trial court's ruling and confirmed that we indeed have a First Amendment right to live stream police officers, including being an occupant of a vehicle that's subject to a traffic stop. But as government likes to remind us, no rights are absolute, right? The government could still infringe on those rights under certain facts. Here are the two most important paragraphs in the opinion that I'm going to discuss, which I'll post in full at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com with the link posted in the description. By the way, if you support the ongoing fight for our constitutional rights, please subscribe and follow along. But before we get to those two most important paragraphs, let's review some of the footage first, and then we'll discuss that opinion and what I think it means.
What officer?
I thought I saw a stop sign right there.
There's a stop sign right there.
Yeah, no.
What's your name?
One Keystone State, Juan Kesta Staton.
J-U-A-N. You got your ID on you?
Juan Kesta.
Right.
One Keystone Staton, Staton.
We
So
good,
where's the stop
y'all,
line
man.
at?
We just going. I'm recording every time we get stopped.
converted. Well, at
As
least
well
he's
as
working
y'all
regional,
should.
whatever
So
it's called. He was way over there.
we good so far, but
So what kind of stoplight? It ain't no
we ain't
stoplight.
run no stop sign though.
It ain't no
I
stoplight.
definitely know that.
No, it can't be so much, man.
What, we got Facebook Live, cuz?
Yup.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do Facebook Live because that's officer safety issue.
Man, get off my phone, man. Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
Oh, I'm saying, why you grabbing on him though, man? 'Cause he got his phone on. You can't be grabbing on him, though.
Look at me. You got 3 citations.
Okay.
Failure to wear your seatbelt.
Okay.
Failure to yield at the stop sign back
Okay.
there. Okay. And you got failure to carry your driver's license.
Okay, that's
All
cool.
3 of those citations, you can go online right
I
there.
will. I know exactly how it works. Thank you, man.
You got any questions for me?
No, I'm good.
So, as promised, here it is in black and white from the court. Creating and disseminating information is protected speech under the First Amendment. A major purpose of the First Amendment was to protect the free discussion of governmental affairs. And other courts have routinely recognized these principles extend the First Amendment to cover recording, particularly when the information involves matters of public interest like police encounters. The act of recording videos is entitled to First Amendment protection because it's an important stage of the speech process that ends with the dissemination of information about a public controversy. We agree, this is the court speaking. Recording police encounters creates information that contributes to discussion about governmental affairs. So too does live streaming disseminate that information, often creating its own record. We thus hold that live streaming a police traffic stop is speech protected by the First Amendment. So this is just fantastic language that can be used over and over again in the future. Back to the court here. The town purports to justify the policy based on officer safety. According to defendants, live streaming a traffic stop endangers officers because viewers can locate the officers and intervene in the encounter. They support this claim by arguing, with help from the amici, that violence against police officers has been increasing, including planned violence that uses new technologies. On defendants' view, banning live streaming prevents attacks or related disruptions that threaten officer safety. But despite the government's claims, the court found that the government had not established sufficient specific officer safety issues due to traffic stop occupants engaging in this constitutionally protected activity. However, the court left open the possibility that the government could do so. And that's great because then the government can't just say, well, traffic stops are dangerous, therefore we need to be able to do whatever we want at traffic stops. Now, generally, they can do that. However, if this is a First Amendment constitutionally protected activity, in order to do that, they have to jump through certain hoops. and they're going to have to back up their claims that all of this stuff that's allegedly happening about live streaming, creating officer safety issues, they're going to have to prove it in court. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that here. But unfortunately, in this case, the opinion granted qualified immunity to the individual police officers who were defendants in the lawsuit, finding that since this was basically the first opinion confirming this specific constitutional right, that the right therefore was not clearly established at the time that the conduct occurred, and that therefore the officers were entitled to qualified immunity. The important part, however, is that from this point on, police officers are on notice. And especially in the Fourth Circuit states, West Virginia, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, this is a constitutionally protected activity under the First Amendment. So in the end, the case actually did not backfire. It worked. The process worked. And although these individual officers will not be held accountable in this case, in that case, this opinion will form the basis for others being held accountable in the future. Now, with qualified immunity out there, we have to be happy with each and every win that we get, no matter how little. But I think this is a big one. Remember that when the government attempts to use officer safety to steal our freedoms, what's the proper response? That's right. Freedom is scary. They need to deal with it or just get another job.
All right. So there you have it. That's it. So now it's been established. What's that? The Fourth Circuit has said it's a part of your First Amendment right to, yes, live stream police, live stream a traffic stop, even if you're the passenger in the vehicle. And, you know, I think that was important. And I definitely wanted to let you guys know that, give you guys that update, because we don't necessarily want our rights taken away. Like he said, we don't want the government to be able to dictate when and where we can record. That's already settled law. We don't want them destroying our videos, like we saw with the guy up in East Cleveland, where he thought he had been recorded, so he folded the phone in half, and it wasn't one of those foldable phones. He intentionally destroyed the phone because he thought that he had been recorded, probably doing something that he had no business doing, like punching a guy and thinking that he broke his orbital bone and laughing about it. And then, well, they're recording. Well, we can't rely on theirs. I have another video, which I didn't actually download, where they're talking about law enforcement. One of the tactics that law enforcement, they're using now, like say you get pulled over, speeding ticket. They give you a speeding ticket, or, you know, they talk about the speeding ticket and maybe give you a verbal warning. They tell you the stop is over. You're free to go. As you begin to pull off, they say, hold on, can I ask you a question? Now it no longer counts as a part of that stop. It no longer counts as a part of that stop. It is now a consensual encounter. And what they're doing is they're asking people, there's in this one particular case, they asked the guy, can we ask you a question? Do you have any drugs or guns or anything you shouldn't have in the car? And of course, he stopped and he answered the question and he said no. And they said, well, do you mind if we check? And of course, like most people, not everybody, but most people do. Most people say, well, yeah, I mind. No, I don't want you to check my car. So then they told him, well, pull over. And he had to wait like another hour, I think they said. Police dogs show up, you know, do the sniff of the car and all of that kind of stuff. And eventually he was let go. But they say that one of the reasons that they can get away with it is because it became the initial stop was over. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We asked you if we could, you didn't have to stop. So then the question becomes, the ACLU is actually suing to get more information. But they can do that. Maybe. They're saying, wait a minute. He felt like he had to answer that question. He felt like he was still detained. And if a reasonable person believes that they're not allowed to leave, and they're saying, look, we didn't tell him he was detained. We actually just told him he could leave. But we just asked, can we ask you a question? And they're like, but the average citizen believes that when the police say, hold on, can I ask you a question? That's a detention. Of course, the police, I think it was Kansas. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Kansas State Police. They say, look, it's a part of their police training. It's one of the things that they do. They won't give up the body cam of the incident, which is another reason why you should record. They'll tell you, hey, you don't have to record, I'm recording. But we don't always have access to their recordings. That's just the truth. We don't always get access to their recordings. They have put in public records requests. And they're like, well, I mean, this is still pending. Like, no, it's not. You gave him a ticket. The ticket was dismissed. We're trying to get the body cam footage of where you stopped him and gave him the ticket. And they're like, well, we're not giving out that footage. The fact that they can just say, we're not giving out that footage, that's problematic to some people. So, yeah. This stuff is really important. It's important that you be able to, I encourage people to always, if you're stopped by police, and I know it's hard to think about it because you're being stopped. You're like, oh my goodness, what? Let me make sure, my hands are wherever they're supposed to be. I don't want this person to believe that I'm a threat to them. Some people just are nervous, like, oh my goodness, I don't want to get killed. I don't want to get shot. So, I don't want to do anything to get a ticket. And maybe the last thing on your mind is, let me record this. So I've never had a problem with police, so why would I record? Because that might be the time that you do. Well, he's got on a body cam. They might not release it. I always encourage everybody, record the police. Record the police. Even if they're doing good. But then what difference does it make? Go ahead and record them doing a great job. And then you post it and you're like, look, the police, this officer, let's say Officer Ward did an amazing job. She was delightful, respectful, knowledgeable. She treated me well and fair, solved my problem, whatever it was. Give her a shout out. I don't think police that are not doing wrong will mind you recording them not doing wrong. So, yeah, I always say, go out. When you encounter law enforcement, record them. Record them. But, yeah, initially, in the lower court, they ruled in favor of police, and you were not going to be allowed to live stream your encounters with law enforcement. But I'm sure they'll appeal that. I'm sure they will appeal that. We'll see what happens. See, somebody wanted to know what an orbital bone is. It's shoulder or arm? Eye. Because it's orbital. I don't know why they call it orbital. I mean, that's my guess. But yes, eye. He punched him in the eye, and he was celebrating the fact that he believes that he broke his orbital bone in that video. 513-717-5464. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I don't have my screen up. Somebody gonna call in like, I called you and you didn't see my call. You didn't answer the line. And I don't want that to be the case. So, all right, it's up now. There was something else that I wanted to discuss. As always, on Fridays, week in review, people still talking about that whole Sierra naked thing. People still talking about that. Why are people still talking about that? Those people do what they do. I mean, you judge them however you choose to judge them, and then let that be that. Let that be that. There was one comment that I kept seeing come up And I don't understand how people don't understand certain things. Like, well, Beyonce did it. Nobody said Jay-Z was soft, so why are they saying it about Russell Wilson? Again, from my perspective, the difference was I've never heard Beyonce husband Jay-Z running around professing to be like a super Christian or anything. That makes a difference. That does make a difference. So that might be a part of why. But other than that, it happened. I'm not them. I don't live their life. And that's that. That's that. So, we live and let live. At least from my perspective, we live and we let live. There was something else, and it came to mind. And I didn't say it when it came to mind because I was trying to not be like Trumpian. And then I forgot it. See what I'm saying? You see why I have to do it? You see why I have to interrupt myself to say whatever it is that I was getting ready to say? Because now I don't remember what it was. And it was good. It was good. But y'all lose out. Y'all lose out. Daryl says, because people are jealous and wish they had a body like Sierra, some men too. I don't know if that's it. I mean, people, what? Super Christians are the freakiest people in the world. I don't know if that's true either. People have a right to have their opinions. Some of these conversations be going on for a long time. I finally watched the Chris Rock thing. Me and Mrs. Livingston, we finally watched the Chris Rock selective outrage thing. Disclaimer, again, I've never been a fan of Chris Rock. I don't think he's funny. Just me. I don't find his humor funny. You might love it. And if you love him, don't be mad at me. I'm just saying I don't find him funny. But it doesn't mean that no one does. And before somebody say, well, but he rich. So that don't mean he funny to me. Because I know for some of y'all, being rich is all that everything is about. He rich, which means he's funny, which means he's smart, which means he's, sexy, which means he's everything that anyone could ever dream of just because he's got money. Okay, fine. He's rich. But I, as a disclaimer, I don't find Chris Rock to be funny. But we did. We watched the special. And kind of true to form, I didn't think it was funny. I think I might have smiled at one point. He said something that made me almost chuckle. So when I watch comedy, I function like this. Like I'm there to have a good time. So if when we go to like the comedy shows live and even go to the Funny Bone, we haven't been down there. Is the Funny Bone still down on Newport on the Levee? We used to go down there kind of regularly, but we haven't been down there in a while. I don't know. Are they still down there? But when we go down there, I walk in with the idea I want to have a good time. But at the same time, I want the comedian to be funny. Like, you should make me laugh. I'm not just laughing because you up there. Like, you can't just walk up on stage and be like, hi, and I'm going to be like, ah! That dude is hilarious. No. Say something to make me laugh. I'm here. I'm ready to laugh. I want to have a good time. But you got to say something. Make me laugh. Okay? And so that's the way I watch comedy. So I sit there kind of, nothing. Like in good spirits, ready to be entertained. You say some things might get me to smile. But it's not quite a chuckle. Where it's like, okay, that's cute. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Some stuff might get me to chuckle, Okay. Some stuff might get me to, laugh out loud. That was good. And some stuff might make my stomach hurt. I've experienced all of those. But a lot of times I just experience sitting there waiting to be made to experience one of those, right? That was pretty much the Chris Rock thing for me. I was waiting. Like, he gonna say something funny. He gonna say something funny. Like, it's gonna be funny. I bet you it's the funny part is coming. Like, this is all set up. I'm 30 minutes in, like, this is all set up because he about to say something funny. Like, oh, he'd have moved from that joke to that joke, but it wasn't, I didn't even smile. Like, it wasn't. And I don't remember what it was. He said something made me smile. But overall, it was Chris Rock. It was Chris Rock. I'll say the only part, of course, that I won't say most people, that was kind of interesting was, oh, wait, hold on. Y'all know I had to deal with stuff like this. Emanuel, stop the hate. How is it hate to say, okay, Kenneth, because I really need y'all to stop doing stuff like this. So I'm going to start asking, what did I say that could be considered hate? I said, you might think he's funny, but I don't. And yeah, he's rich. And for some of y'all, that mean everything. But to me, it don't. I watched the special. It was regular Chris Rock material, which I explained is not funny to me. What did I say that you would consider hate? Maybe we don't. Let me take that back. Maybe some of y'all don't know what it means to hate. Saying, I don't find this person funny, but other people might. That's not hate. That's just being honest and giving room that it doesn't, like, it would be like, I don't know what you do or what you don't like to eat, Kenneth. But if you like broccoli, but you don't like Brussels sprouts, but you got up and you said, I don't care for Brussels sprouts. I'm going to stop hating on Brussels sprouts. Why are you a hater? Like, no, I don't like Brussels sprouts. You might love Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts is my favorite. You a hater. You're not a hater. You're just expressing that you don't like Brussels sprouts. That's not being a Brussels sprout hater. That's just saying what you like. Come on. All right, let me get back to my regularly scheduled program. But okay, so I watched it. Didn't think it was funny, but I kind of felt him on the Will Smith thing. I kind of understood, of course, where he was coming from. It wasn't necessarily funny, but I could understand where he was. Dude got up and slapped the fire out of him. He's mad, but he trying to contain himself. So he had to, put it in that little special. And look, he made $40 million for them 2 specials that he did for Netflix. Can't be mad at that. But this is what I'll say about comedians. If you become a successful comedian, please keep having life experiences outside of, your financial whatever. Try to get out and have regular people experiences, or make some regular friends and talk to them about their experiences. Because, like Kevin Hart, you got Chris Rock just did his. The idea that, because if you ask me, the overwhelming majority of the special, at least it felt like, was basically about him talking about how rich he is. And I get it. He wasn't, kind of Myosha bragging about being rich. He kind of was, but not, really. But that's his experiences. So he was talking about his experiences. Now, he don't have some of the same experiences that we non-rich people have anymore. So he can't take those and turn them into material because he doesn't experience them. So he has to take what's going on in his life and try to turn that into material. And his life is all about being rich and being a celebrity. I can't identify with that. So that's not going to be hilarious to me like it was when you were struggling and living your life amongst regular non-rich people and making light of all of our situations, stuff that we all deal with on a regular basis. So if you're a comedian and you get successful and you're gonna come up with new material, talk to some people who we can identify with. Talk to some people who we can identify with. Now, if he had dug up some grandmas, you would have been rolling on the floor. That would have been quite morbid. Yeah, the crowd had a bunch of nervous laughter because they didn't know how he was going to dress the slap. Yeah, it did feel like everybody was waiting for that. Like everything else, it was there. But everybody was waiting for the stuff on the slap, which felt like about 5 minutes. Felt like about 5 minutes of, him complaining about Will and Jada. And he probably has he definitely has a legit complaint about being slapped. I will say this. He says people ask him why he didn't do nothing because his mama told him not to fight around white people and drop the mic. That's not a mic drop moment to me. To me, Kenneth. To me. Clearly it was to him, and maybe it is to you. And I'm sorry if you love Chris Rock. I don't want to offend you. But to me, that wasn't a mic drop moment. My mama taught me not to fight around white people. That ain't why you didn't do nothing. You said earlier in the conversation the reason you didn't do nothing is because he know he could whoop you. So you know he could whoop you. That's why you didn't do nothing. It wasn't because your mama told you not to fight around white people. But let me see. Daryl says, that Chris Rock special was hilarious to me. Maybe my sense of humor is a pass full mode. Okay, and I'm not saying it wasn't funny to you, but I would love for you to tell me what was funny. What was funny? Please tell me. And maybe I'll see it another way. Maybe I'll see it another way. Tell me one joke in there where you was like, oh, that's hilarious. One joke, if you don't mind. And then maybe you can help me understand it. Oh, CK called and I missed his call. CK, call back. CK, call back. I apologize, sir. We hear you, brother E-Man. Yeah, brother Chris needs and all like this one need to keep degradation off of a black woman, period. Huh? Hold on, let me try it again. My reading level is not the best, so I'm gonna try to read it again. We hear you, brother E-Man. That I get that. Yet, all right, brother Chris needs an all like this one. Brother, some punctuation will help. Brother Chris needs an all like this one need. So brother Chris needs to keep degradation off of a black woman, period. Maybe that's what you were saying. And there was supposed to be some punctuation in there. I'm gonna accept that that's what you were saying. All right. Let me see if we got CK in here. CK.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Livingston?
I'm doing good, sir. And you?
Hey, man, you doing it again. You coming with them controversial topics, man. I'm like, damn, you must don't hear your own show. You too busy doing the show to watch it, ain't you? Do you ever go back and watch the old show, old clips and shit?
No, I really don't. I mean, I go back and look at it, and maybe just to critique. Right now, I'm trying to get the video portion just to look decent, so I don't look orange and fuzzy. So I go back and critique that.
I'm trying to figure out, man. You said you never thought Chris Rock was funny?
No.
This man been doing comedy 35 years.
Okay. And a lot of people think he's funny, but that don't mean I think he's funny.
And my point is, if you didn't think he was funny for 35 years, what the hell make you think he about to be funny now? If you never liked him before, you said, well, I never listened to Britney Spears back then, but her new album, I had to rush and watch that. You sound crazy, Emanuel.
No. When certain things, like typically, I wouldn't have rushed to watch. I didn't actually rush to watch it. I just watched it last week.
True.
But
you waited a week.
It'd been more than a week. But the idea, it moved past just a comedy special. You know what I'm saying? It was more than just that. And everybody, when I say everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people had watched it, were talking about it, and had asked me, what did I think of it? And being in this realm, I have to, kind of keep my eyes on stuff to, at least be able to give some sort of commentary. So under normal circumstances, normal being, I'm not doing a show. Under normal circumstances, there's a really good chance I wouldn't have watched it. Like, I didn't watch his first one. I mean, I couldn't tell you what the first one of the two on Netflix. I don't know what was on it. I didn't watch it because I'm not a Chris Rock fan. So I didn't watch it. But he hadn't had the fire slapped out of him yet. So he didn't address that, of course. So, yeah, I wouldn't have watched it under normal circumstances.
But if you haven't found him funny in 35 years, ain't nothing I can tell you that's going to be funny about this. Because like you said, this one show ain't going to be better than this whole 35 years of work. So, it'd be just like, it's this type of humor you don't like. You know what I mean? It's like, of course you wouldn't like it. You never thought he was funny.
Right.
It's like watching somebody. Yeah.
I never thought he was funny.
I'm going to tell you something funny about it, though, if you already know, like, I'm about to watch this comedian that's not funny.
Look, if you say to me, like, if you're like, I don't think The Office is funny, right? And I'm like, I think The Office is hilarious. And you're like, well, tell me one thing from The Office that was funny.
Right.
I could tell you some things in The Office that I thought was funny, and then maybe explain to you why I thought they were funny. That might not, I'm not trying to change your mind, but I'm trying to help you understand maybe why some people see that as humorous. So that's all I was saying.
But what you said, but what you said about his joke about we don't fight in front of white people, that was funnier than his joke. When you said that was not a drop the mic phone, I bust out laughing when you said that. That was hilarious.
What, that was supposed to be a joke? That was supposed to be funny?
No, it was funny. You said that is not a drop the mic funny, drop the mic moment. Because it's not. It's like, that's funny because it's true what you're saying. That's the comedian. It's like you ain't trying to be funny, but it is funny. Like, he thought that was the funniest shit he said all night. He dropped the mic. And you just said that was not a drop the mic moment. I bust out laughing because it's true.
Hold on, CK. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, check this out. I asked Daryl, because Daryl said he thought it was hilarious, right? I say, Daryl, tell me one thing that he said that you thought was funny. Daryl says, when he said you would never see me without a shirt in a movie. If I'm getting heart surgery in a movie, I got on a sweater. He says that was funny. I think that was the one joke that I smiled on, because I thought, okay, I give you that one. There was some humor to that one.
What about the abortion jokes? Did you find them humorous?
Tell me about maybe I blocked them out. Tell me about the abortion jokes.
What are you talking about? I'm for women killing children, killing babies. And then the crowd got uneasy, like they all for it, like, because he sunk them in with, I'm for women rights and abortion rights. And then he said, yeah, I'm all for killing babies. And then he said how I think you should be able to kill a baby up until 4 years old.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that was funny. I understood what he was saying. I guess I understand why somebody might think that was funny. But yeah, no, I didn't think that was funny.
Yeah, because I mean, but I see what you're saying. It does seem like when he said that at the end to drop the mic, it set a tone like, damn, so you really are on their side. Like you're not with us. He seems like he's making a line in the sand. Kind of like what you were saying about him talking about being rich and everything.
Okay.
It's like he's saying, look, hey, my parents told me not to fight in front of white people. I'm like, who the hell, parent? That's not something I typically hear in the black community. What about you?
No, I've not heard that. My parents never told me that, but maybe that's what his parents told him. I didn't think it was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
But...
Yeah, it's not funny at all. It's just pandering to the your white audience, and it seems like he went a little more to that realm in the last 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
With the N words and the black people.
Well, he always been the whole N-word thing. Like from the first time I saw him, he was an N-word machine.
Right. That's and that's what I see. This where he failed at. I'm gonna tell you where he failed.
Oh.
There's no way, no place on earth where I feel I could just walk up and slap you, Emanuel. I don't care if it's at the courthouse, if you get married at your wedding, or at a funeral, anywhere. So he should have delved into the topic of the fear, why you were scared. Because then you could identify with people that get punked out. See, that's where he still want to hold himself high, like, oh, I did class. No, talk about how scared you was that he was going to whoop your ass.
I thought he did.
That would have been more funny.
I thought he did.
No, he kind of... You think he was addressing the fear of getting his ass whooped?
Yeah, he was talking about how big Will Smith is and how Will Smith done, he played Muhammad Ali, so he done trained. He's a big guy, and he basically said he's big, I'm small. He can fight, I can't. He think he can whoop me, and I think he can whoop me. So yeah, I think that kind of covered everything.
No, but this where you don't cover it. Talk about the humiliation. Look at the places I named. I smack you in front of everybody, your kids, your family. Talk about that. That's a better joke. Talk about how that made you feel. Like, damn, now my kids look at me crazy, or the shame you feel for not retaliating. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna always be second guessing yourself. Like, man, I should have did something. That's more of the pinnacle you want to get to in comedy, the self-degradation. When you talk about, well, you know what, man, my kids I don't even know if my kids even respect me no more, getting slapped like that. Every time I get to arguing with my wife, she bring up the slap. Because that's reality, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you know, if I punk you out on the night of the town with your wife, and I punk you out in front of your wife, from then on, whenever y'all get into it, she gonna, but you ain't say shit when he did that shit, when he slapped the shit out of you, ain't do nothing.
Yeah.
And see, that's where he failed. I don't think he addressed where he, the shame he feels for people hyping him up like, oh, it's a class act and all. That ain't classy, man. That's not your instincts was fear.
But overall, you like the special.
Yeah, I liked it, but
okay.
But you made great points where he went against the grain, and then he got a little too over emotional and just messed up the whole joke. That's not even common to him. So by him flipping up the joke like that with the Will Smith, remember he said the movie backwards.
Well, again, they've edited it since then, so the version that I saw, he didn't actually mess up the joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, I just wanted to holler at you about that, man. Just, we got to deal with our real fears, man. Now, don't put it all on Will. Put it on you, too, because you ain't do shit. He slapped you and nobody else.
All right. CK, I appreciate your call, sir.
All right.
All right. That was CK. There's still a part of me that believe it was all staged, planned. I said stand. That was a combination of staged and planned. It wasn't stand. It was staged or planned. Tony says, just because somebody bigger than you don't mean you won't fight. Yeah, but he wasn't going to fight. And it wasn't because his mama told him not to fight. It was because he felt like he was going to get his butt whooped. That was it. That was the reason why. You know exactly what Brother James. Okay. I think I figured it out. Let me see. Got another call coming in. Twin.
What's up, little man? E-man.
Hey, Twin. How you doing, sir?
Can you hear me, man?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I kind of feel like, hold on, man. Let me get out here real quick. Hold on, E-man.
All right. I'll hold on while he get everything together.
Can you hear me now?
I heard you the whole time. Yes.
No, I had my earpiece. The thing, I don't like that too much. But anyway, E-man, yeah, I kind of feel like it was staged a little bit from the get-go and stuff. And then if it was like a gangster person up there, somebody like, what's his name? I forgot his, Coleman or something like that. That comedian Coleman, I forgot his first name. Anyway, if somebody like that, a real gangster comedian, they would have got down on Will, man. They're like, hell with these Oscars and everything. Man, we gotta handle this right now. Because, man, it seemed like from the get-go, it seemed like it was staged at first. I'm like, man, he just slapped him. Then, like, my buddy just got off the phone to CK. He told him speaking the truth. Because every time you get into with your wife, whatever, you ain't smack Will like that. And then your kids, you know the kids don't make it no better. They go teeth. Then you need to just shut up or I go get Will. And that kind of, like, hurt your manhood type, man.
That would be
something
terrible.
like that.
That would be terrible.
Hey, yeah, Will. Like, man, you know, somebody hit you, man, you get into it with your wife and stuff, and she wasn't a gangster person, you probably like, you need to just shut up. You know Jimmy just smacked you or whatever, some type like that. Why you ain't hit him back tight? That's gonna hurt your feelings or whatever. I remember I was a class clown, Emanuel, when I was little, thought I'd never get whooped. Man, they talked about me when my mama came up there and whooped me with that switch. It was over, man. They talked about me a whole year and everything. My feelings was hurt, man. They always say, you better shut up before I call your mom. And everything. You know, that kind of hurt people and everything. But you got to, Chris Rock, man, I'm like you, man. Sometimes he on, sometimes he off. But if you, right nowadays, if you're a comedian, man, you got to bring the pain. If not, you go get booed like you at the Apollo type. Because when dude, what's his name? That young boy. I think what is it? He came down here last year. He be on Wild 'N Out. The car is it start with a D or something like that.
All right.
I can't think of, but when he came to Cincinnati last year, he was good for a minute. Then he come out suck his thing and all that. They booed him off the stage and all that and everything. Yeah, it's time for you to go because he ran out of joke. But if you nowadays, it's 2000, you ain't bringing the pain with this comedian or whatever. You're a comedian, hey, you go get booed or whatever. Can't keep bringing that old Deals type stuff. Don't nobody want to see that stuff no more or whatever. But dude was speaking the truth, though, man. He should have just handled it like a man. I forget them Oscars, whatever. What you doing at the Oscars anyway? Hell, they don't like us no way. I would have just got down like I'm from the hood now. You ain't going to do me like that. Yeah. All right, man. Be safe this weekend, man.
All right, Twin. You do the same. Thank you for your call.
All right, man.
All right. That was Twin. All right. Hold on, let me see. Myosha says, y'all can tell I'm behind on the comments. I think Chris is funny. This past special wasn't super funny, but I chuckled a little. And again, I'm not telling anybody not to think Chris is funny. I don't think Chris is funny. That's just me. You can think he's all right. You can think he's hilarious. You can think he's the funniest man on the planet. I'm comfortable with either way. You don't have to justify you liking Chris or whatever with me. I'm comfortable with you liking Chris. Sammy says, Chris Rock's comedy is more of a rant. All right. Pamela has, she says, breaking news. Actor Lance Reddick from The Wire and the movie John Wick died at age 60. I don't know who he is. I guess I have to look it up. All right, James, I think he's clarifying for me. Black women are the most disrespected, victimized, and abused women on the planet. Black men, we need to wake up regardless. Is this one clear for you? But wake up from what? I don't understand what your criticism. Are you saying you believe Chris Rock was exceptionally disrespectful to black women in this special? Is that what you're saying? And if so, what did he say and or do to make you feel that way? Mayosha says, I tried watching The Office, but it just didn't hold my attention. And look, first time I watched The Office, I watched it. It was like the Super Bowl, and they did like a 1 hour special or whatever it was. And I watched it, and I was like, this ain't funny. Like, I don't even understand how people watch this and think it's funny. I don't get it. And so probably for about another 6-7 months, maybe even a year, I hadn't watched it. And then I think it came on Netflix, and somebody suggested to me, watch it from the first episode. If you just watch it from the first episode, don't miss no episodes. And that's what I did. And when we got to that same episode that I watched that first time and didn't even chuckle, I laughed so hard. It's one of those things where you have to have, if you have an understanding of all of the characters and all that kind of stuff. But that's just me. You might watch it from the first one and be like, okay, I watched them all and it wasn't funny. Okay. But I think it's funny. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I got a call coming in. Oh, it went away as soon as I went to click it. Whoever you are, call me right back. I was trying to answer the call, but it hung up before I could. So call me right back. I'll get you in. Okay, there we go. There we go. Caller.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. It's me.
Oh, Blade.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, I didn't know who me was, but what's on your mind?
Hey, man.
Yes.
You got a good topic going. It's pretty ordinary. You're right. Chris, to me, Chris was never funny.
Okay.
And he went by the rules of them. I think Chris was more. I don't think Chris. People talking about he was scared. This and that. That's just jokes. Chris was embarrassed because he got smacked in front of white people. Chris and them, they worship white people. He was more embarrassed that he got smacked in front of white people. I think if he would have smacked him in front of all black audience, he would have probably tried to fight him back. But you know, he was on his best behavior. People like Chris is always on their best behavior in front of white people. I know you're gonna disagree and your other but who cares? I know I'm right because I'm always right. He was more embarrassed because of he got embarrassed in front of white people. That's all it was. I don't even think the smack really affected him. I'm trying to figure out why y'all think that was staged. What was the purpose for that being staged? For what? I don't understand.
Attention.
Attention for what? I don't.
Attention for, publicity. They'll be talked about a lot. What they do will get a lot of attention.
To me, that was just black on black crime in front of white people. It was just totally nonsense and embarrassing. Because it's a rumor that really Chris wanted Jada, and Jada didn't want him because he was a nerd like who she married to now. You know, trying to put them two nerds up against the one guy she's so in love with, Tupac. Them two compared to Tupac, they just like two little nerds. But, you know, she got with Will because, you know, Will had that money.
Okay. If you say so.
Hey, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
In Chris, how old is Chris?
58, I believe.
Well, Chris, when you think about it, imagine it. Chris is the today's simp. He was the beginning of what the younger simps are now, because, you know, we always want to impress white people. That's why I say today's simps, they want to impress white people, but we'll go hard on each other, but we won't go hard on white people. That's what Chris reminded me of today's generation. You know, we'll go hard on each other, but when it comes down to white people, we on our best behavior.
Well, Blake, let me ask you this. Hold on, let me ask you this. So are you saying that a person who walks away from a fight is what you call a simp?
Well, it depends what kind of fight it is. I mean,
a physical fight.
I like how you put that.
Hands.
I like how you put that. I say if a person trying to protect themselves, why walk away? If a person run up on you, wouldn't you try to protect yourself?
Yes.
Or would you be like Chris and let somebody smack you around?
I don't know. I think it all depends on the situation. There's a really, really, really good chance that I would defend myself and go on the offensive, right? There's a really good chance of that. But there are certain circumstances where I could see myself not doing anything and, you know, allowing other things to happen. So I understand where you're coming from. If a cat talking crazy, I'll just walk away. But if I'm by law, because you on big on law, by law, if I have the opportunity, if law's on my side, I'm gonna use it. I mean, you know, like you said, you big on law, so we need to learn these laws. And these simps out here, they love running up on people. Some of them just got to be taken down, you know. So I mean,
because you only got one life.
Wait a minute. So then, wouldn't using that definition wouldn't Will be the simp?
They both simps. That wasn't dealing with nobody really taking anybody's life. Like you said, if it was staged, why go that deep?
Okay. All right.
But like I said, man, Chris and Will are the persona of this generation of simps out here today.
All right.
Because we always want to be on our best behavior in front of white people. They have a good one.
You do the same, sir. All right. That was Blade. Pamela says, those are good places to see someone get slapped, a funeral or a wedding. All right. Kenneth says, that was a Hollywood ritual. I felt like, I still kind of feel like it was staged. Myosha says, I think he was in a state of shock. Like, he couldn't believe dude, B, I can't be cussing, B smacked him like that. Well, come on, you done already showed your hand. You like Chris Rock, so you gonna defend him. You gonna defend him. I don't know that I necessarily believe in the idea of, it exists, but you know what I'm saying? You come up and slap me, you come up and sock me, I might be in a state of shock, like, I can't believe this just happened. But then comes a response, whatever the response is. And I don't have a problem with him not fighting him, or I don't have a problem with him if he chose to fight him. I don't have a problem with it. I do have a problem with the whole, I was taught not to fight in front of white people, as if that happened at the NAACP Image Awards, they would have been getting down. Like, no. You wasn't gonna do anything. So don't act like, because to me that's, you acting whatever. You already said he can whoop me. He know he can whoop me, and I know he can whoop me. Just leave it at that. Now I want you, Ja Morant, I need to go get counseling. Stop it. You already gave the reason why you didn't do nothing. And it wasn't because you was taught not to fight in front of white people. You were afraid of getting whooped. I understand that. It's cool. Let me see. Somebody says it was a joke. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. He didn't say that as a joke. That part wasn't said as a joke. David. Is that David? David, that part wasn't said as a joke. Where's the punchline? Oh, that was the punchline? My parents taught me not to fight in front of white people. That's not funny. That wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. That wasn't even meant to be a joke. Mayo says, just because I like someone has nothing to do with my defending them. I like the Cosby Show, but I'm sure as hell not defending him. I thought you did defend Cosby. I thought you were one of the ones. You, CK, all the old men, Lincoln Ware. I thought y'all was defending Cosby. I might have you mixed up with somebody else. Twin says, Chris is washed up like Mike Epps. All right. If you say so. Look, I'm not here to call nobody washed up or nothing. Somebody asked me to watch it and give my thoughts on it. Those are my thoughts on it. I watched it. You know how like sometimes you watch a comedy special and some things in the comedy special turn into other things? Like everybody know Goonie Google. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. You know what I'm saying? That's something everybody know it's about to go down. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. Like there are certain things. There's nothing in this special that you're going to hear people kind of quoting. Nothing in this special that you're going to hear people kind of quoting. Like, I mean, even he has some past stuff that people quote. You got black people and you got N-words. And even black people don't like the N-words. You know what I'm saying? You got certain stuff. There's nothing in this special, I think, that anybody gonna be quoting. It was there. It existed. And he got paid. I'm not mad at him. I don't have anything against Chris Rock. Y'all know I don't like Will. I'm on record. I've never liked Will Smith. I can't say never. I stopped liking Will Smith at a point, and he never redeemed himself to me. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of Will Smith. B-Rab says, what type of black man says his parents told him not to fight around white people? I don't know. Jeannie says, what is Goonie Google? Just go watch some Eddie Murphy. Most people on here know exactly what Goonie Google is. Everybody know about, falling down the stairs and, oh Lord Jesus, oh Lord, I'm halfway down. Everybody know about that. That's something you could say and people understand it and they get it. Nothing's coming out of that Chris Rock special. Nothing's coming out of there. My Yoshi just cussing today like you wouldn't believe. Ain't this a beat? You definitely got me mixed up with somebody else. Cosby admitted to sexual assault. How can you defend that? I don't, CK? She calling you out, CK. No, I don't. I thought you were one of the ones who was defending Cosby. Okay. I thought so. Brent don't know what Goonie Google is either. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all people? You can't, look, if you don't know what Goonie Google is, don't come to me talking about you know something about comedy. You don't even know what Goonie Google is. Genesis, that was a joke. Oh, let's see. There you go, Lewis. Defend yourself. He definitely defended Bill Cosby. He says that was a miscarriage of justice. Hold on. This thing jumping over stuff. whenever me and my best friend from high school see a hot dude, we call him Dexter St. Jock. Because y'all stupid. Daryl says, go watch Eddie Murphy's Raw to find out. Robert Willis says, some people just young. Robert, if they were young, I would understand it. I'm pretty sure that Jeannie and Brent is right around in my age range, if not a little higher. They should understand. Janice says, tell us what it is. No, I refuse. No. If you don't know what it is, then you just missed out. Now, if you would have started talking about, I want some ice cream, Eddie, and what have you done for me lately, I would have gotten the reference. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me grab this phone. We got Key in the house. Key.
Hey, what's going on, Emanuel? How are you?
I'm fantastic. Key, how are you?
All right. Hey, everybody in the chat, Facebook, YouTube, and the one person on Twitch. Hey, everybody. What you up to?
I'm just doing this show.
Oh, okay. Well, go to Google.
They don't know what that means, so I can't,
Oh, my goodness. Well, just dunk your head in the water and get the fish with your mouth and come back up and say it. And I'm young, too, but I know.
Well,
yeah.
Hold
it's
on.
A classic.
Yes, it is. It's a classic. How old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
You are not young. 40s. Stop saying you in your 40s. You're not young.
Yeah.
Stop
I am young. Don't be hating on me.
You in your 40s, Key.
Yeah, I'm the beginning of them. Is that all right with you?
That's still 40s. That's not young.
Hey, man, just because you're old, because you're in your 50s now, don't make me get you.
Okay, so where do young end?
Young ends where you are.
All
right.
I'm
gonna come back on you, man. Don't try to cut me up.
Oh, what's on your mind?
Oh, nothing. I was just kind of saying, hey, I missed you yesterday. I don't believe you wrong, so I was just saying, hey, and just saying, hey to the chat and just chiming in real quick. And just have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you later. But I seen the topic, and I thought I'd call and jump in because you so silly.
Well, Key, I appreciate you calling. I appreciate your support.
All right, everybody, thumbs up the live, the chat, all that good stuff. Subscribe and keep Emanuel going. So maybe if he get enough subscribers, then he'll let you know we're going to Google it.
Yes, that's what I'll do. Thank you, Key.
All right, talk to you later.
All right. That was Key. B-Rap says, young ends at 75. No, it don't. Jeannie says, I'm 51. Went to the theater to see Delirious whenever it came out. And don't feel a need to watch it again. I don't remember that from his stand-up. Okay. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Let's see. TC says, we are not old. We are well seasoned. You old. You're not well seasoned. You're what? Hold on. You might not be old, but there's a difference between young and not young and old. Like, look, I don't know. Nobody can argue. Lincoln Ware is old as F. You can't argue that, right? The little baby is young, okay? But somewhere in between there's an age group that is not young, but not quite old. I think they call it middle-aged. I think that's what they used to call it, middle-aged. So while you might not be old. You're not young in your 40s. You're middle-aged. Now, sure, if you're comparing it to like the oldest person on earth, then you might be able to say, I'm 40, I'm young. But if you're just talking about like the age of people, 40s is not young. Even to me, 30s is not young. 30s is not young. You middle-aged. I put, like you go 0 to 25, 30, I will even push to 30. You can claim young. You can claim young 0 to 30. 30. Hold on, we got Key calling back. Hello?
It's a repeat caller. Hello, how are you? Emanuel.
Yes.
Well, why ain't nobody calling your line to get you?
What you mean?
Because you keep talking about 40 is old.
Because I didn't say it's old. I said it's not young.
Look, how about this? The little boy that was telling the joke, I was the same age as he was. So that's young.
What little boy?
I shouldn't even been watching it.
Wait, what little boy you talking about?
And the Eddie Murphy special. Remember he was telling the joke in the beginning? When that came out, I was the same age he was. You remember?
No.
Oh, okay.
Tell me what you talking about.
In the Delirious one.
Okay.
Was that Delirious or was that Raw? Where the little boy was telling the joke in the beginning.
What was the joke that the little boy was telling? Because I don't remember no little boy telling no joke at the beginning of either of those.
They was in the house, and I think it might have been Delirious. It probably was before Raw, and the little boy was telling the joke in the beginning. He was like, and then they started peeing. Remember the little boy?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
It was like a skit before the actual comedy special came on. I think that was Raw. Comment in the chat, y'all. Was that Raw or Delirious? Where it was like they was at a house and a little boy, they were like, Eddie got a joke to tell. Eddie got a joke to tell. So spam it up in the comments, y'all, to see which one that was. But I thought it was Raw.
People are saying that it was Raw. They're calling it the pee-pee joke.
Okay, yeah, so I was the same age he was when that came out. So that's young. I shouldn't even seen it, but I seen it.
All right.
That's all. So you don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, you might want to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
then.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it was like a little, like they was at home. I'm trying to think, I think it was Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, that was Samuel L. Jackson, was his uncle. And they was all sitting in, like, you know how the living room and the kitchen was, like, close together. So some people was standing in the kitchen, some people was in the living room, and everybody was, like, putting on, like, a talent show in the living room. And they was like, Eddie wanted to tell the joke. So they was like, Eddie got a joke to tell. Eddie got a joke to tell. So when you see it, you're going to be like, well, how did I not see this part?
All right. I'll do
and then
that.
After that came on,
but you got to keep in mind, I had the coronavirus. So, my memory ain't all the way back yet.
You okay? You remember going to go-go? So it'll come to you probably when I hang up the phone. You're like, wait a minute, I did see that. I don't want to tell the whole joke because if you ain't seen it, then when you see it, you're going to be like, where this been all my life?
Well, it's pretty old. You could tell the whole joke, and you don't even have to say this is a spoiler because it's from a comedy special from the 80s.
I know. I don't want to spoil it for the people that didn't see it, who on the chat that want to see it.
How
about that?
All right. Somebody want to know.
Okay.
So, hold on. Somebody want to know, are you in a relationship, Key?
Who is that? They trying to get with me?
I don't know. She said, are you trying to get with her? Somebody said, ask you if you got a man.
Oh, my goodness. I can't answer that because I don't want nobody stalking me.
You can still
but
answer.
I'm doing very good. I'll say that. And I appreciate everybody for the saying hey and everything.
See, that sound like you just a player if you ask me. If somebody asks you,
no.
If somebody asks you, do you have a man? And you like, I'm doing all right. What, you trying to holler? That sound like you got a man, but you willing to have other men. You just a player, so you ain't trying to commit to nothing.
No, Emanuel, I be lyrious stuff like, well, cause especially, with your chat, some of these people, they're, like, you have stalkers, you said, and then some people, they, like, have inappropriate comments, and so that's why I'm like, what's going on here?
Key.
So I'm just saying, I'm good, I'm doing good, or whatever. Somebody asking because they're interested, I'm not available.
Okay.
Or somebody just asking just because I'm a cool person, they want to, I'll just keep calling, and you all can vibe off the call and stuff. So.
Key.
Yeah.
Are you in a relationship?
Emanuel, don't you start that.
I'm just asking, are you in a relationship?
No, because you won't tell me who asked.
No, you can look. Is on here is B-Rab, but I'm just asking, are you in a relationship? I might know somebody in their 40s to hook you up with.
Now what's weird is my phone is beeping, the other end beeping.
Oh, that your man listening, and he like, you better claim me. You better claim me. Key, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, all right, man.
All right. Key, man, her. Hey, he like, how you not gonna claim me? Okay. Yeah, that's a player answer. Somebody said they believe it's raw. Nobody going back looking up any old Eddie Murphy special. I'll go back. It's just the beginning, so I'll go back and watch it. And depending on how I feel, I might watch it again. Every once in a while, I watch it again and I still laugh. Ozzy is older than 40. I didn't say Ozzy. I don't know Ozzy like that. I always get the feeling Ozzy don't care too much for me. So, E-Man breaking up relationships. I ain't breaking up nothing. All she had to do was say, yeah, I got a man. I got a man. What your man got to do with me? TC says, when I look at Raw now, it's not that funny as it was back then. Well, I mean, that's just the nature of a joke. That's just the nature of a joke. I forget who it was. They was like, you hear a joke the first time, you're like, oh, that's hilarious. The second time, you kind of chuckle a little bit. Third time, you kind of smile. And like the fourth time, you like, why was that even funny in the first place? So yeah, that's just the nature of a joke. It is, it's funny. It's funny. You done just seen it and heard the jokes. Is Eddie Murphy funnier than Richard Pryor? In my opinion, that's hard. That's hard. I would say probably not. If you ask me who was the funniest to me, but you got to keep in mind my age and the things that I was experiencing and watching and everything. When Eddie Murphy was at his peak comedically, I was like there with him. When Richard Pryor was at his peak comedically, I might not even been born yet. You know what I'm saying? So watching the two of them, it's different. It's different. So I don't know that I could say he's funnier. I don't know that I could say he's funnier. I would say from my perspective, where I was and when I was there, Eddie Murphy, I thought he was like the funniest man on the planet. But I bet you if I would have been around Richard Pryor's age when Richard Pryor was at his peak, I would have thought he's the funniest man on the planet. So I think that matters. That matters. Eddie funnier than Richard. Hell to the no. All right. To me, it was Eddie Murphy. Tria says Eddie Murphy was funnier. B-Rab says, yeah, Emanuel old AF. I have no problem with being called old. I don't have no problem with that at all. Right. When I watch old comedy specials, they're not as funny as when I watch during the time. Yeah, no. Because some of it, of course, is just the context of the time, the culture that's going on, all of that kind of stuff plays into it. Eddie Murphy can do a good impression of Richard, though. Nat Turner says, Dave Chappelle is my GOAT. I like Dave Chappelle. Look, sometimes Dave Chappelle do stuff. This is kind of the magic of Dave Chappelle to me. Dave Chappelle could get up on the stage. He did one of those little Netflix things where he got up on the stage. He just talked. Like, he didn't tell like a single joke. And people were laughing, kind of giggling throughout, waiting for the punchline. There was never a punchline. He just told a story. And you were thoroughly entertained by the story because you kind of felt like, I don't want to say you felt like you learned something, but you got some level of perspective from him that you could feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could feel, like, I feel you, Dave. I know exactly where you're coming from. And people like, boy, did you see that Dave Chappelle comedy special? And I'm like, that wasn't really a comedy special. If you think about it, he didn't tell a single joke. He just talked. So, yeah. Yeah, I like Dave Chappelle. Just from the perspective of he is funny. And I like what he does. And to a large degree, his stance on things. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with the idea that comedians should be able to say anything. Nothing's off limits. Can't be offended by comedians. They could just say anything they want to say. I don't agree with that. That's dangerous. But I understand where he's coming from. But we still need, in my opinion, some lines. Some lines. Even a comedian, you can't cross this line. I think you still need some lines. Dave Chappelle is more controversial than most comedians. All right. Dave Chappelle is a master of painting a picture. TC says, I love Mike Epps, but he done fell off. I thought Mike Epps was funny at some point. Cedric being on the show The Neighborhood makes me cringe every time I watch, so I can never watch a whole episode. His acting seems to water down and bottled up from what I'm used to from him. Here's why I like Cedric the Entertainer. He honest. Like Cedric the Entertainer, I was watching an interview with him, and they were asking him something about some controversy or some controversial comedian. And Cedric the Entertainer basically said, and again, this is not verbatim, but he basically said, hey, look, I done sold out. So some of that stuff that I might want to say, I can't say that stuff no more. Cause he didn't use the term sellout. What term did he use? He basically said, I'm on this supposed to be family friendly show. So I got a steady gig doing this. And so I can't say anything that's going to mess up this steady gig, which to me is basically saying, I sold out. And people look at sellout and like, oh, you're just so negative. Why are you attacking him? No. Basically what Cedric was saying was that there is things that if I didn't have this job, if I wasn't worried about losing this job, I would say, but this money is keeping my mouth closed from saying those things. That's selling out. And that's not necessarily negative. So that's why I appreciate Ced, because Ced is basically saying, I sold out. And so I would love to say the stuff that Dave Chappelle is saying. I kind of agree with a whole lot of what Dave Chappelle is saying, but I'm not going to say that. I think they were asking him what, I think it was, Kyrie. They were asking him about Kyrie Irving. And he was like, I'm not going to sit here and say Kyrie Irving should have been able to post that link. I'm not going to sit here and say he shouldn't have. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm on this family-friendly show. And the last thing I need is for somebody to be like, Cedric the Entertainer said this about Hebrews to Negroes, and then I lose my spot on this family-friendly show. Not going to do it. Everybody else can talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it. I appreciate that honesty. I appreciate that honesty. And yes, that's a roundabout way of saying I sold out and I want that money. So y'all can be mad at me if y'all want, but nope. Who was the funniest on the Kings of Comedy? I would have to say it was between Cedric the Entertainer and Bernie Mac. Because again, I don't think, what is his name? He got a show now on Radio 1. What is his name? D.L. Hughley. I don't think D.L. Hughley is funny. Never have. I don't think Steve Harvey is funny. Now, I'll say Steve Harvey has said some funny things, but I don't think Steve Harvey, kind of overall is funny. And you had Cedric the Entertainer, and you had Bernie Mac. And I thought both of them was funny. In terms of, it's different styles. So some of it all depends on what style you like and whatnot. And, the way that they approach material. But I would say it would be between those two. And I if I had to pick and say this was the funniest guy on that show, I guess I would have to say Bernie Mac. I would have to say Bernie Mac. But if you I couldn't tell you, just honestly, they're both funny. Brent Beard says Bernie Mac, Robin Harris, Earthquake, and Don D.C. Curry always have me laughing so hard that my sides hurt. Daryl says, Cedric acting on that show is so limited, but I get it because it's a national network show. And of course, Nat says, comedy is so subjective like music. Exactly. So that's why when you say who's funnier, I have to boil it down to who's funnier to me because, again, I don't like Chris Rock. I don't think he's funny. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I don't dislike Chris Rock. I don't think Chris Rock is funny. Whereas some other, that man just made $40 million for doing 2-hour specials. He made $20 million an hour. Somebody think that ain't funny. So I'm not to say Chris Rock ain't funny. I don't think he's funny because it is very subjective. Samuel says, Bill Cosby did a lot behind the scenes of black movements during the 60s when he was on the show I Spy. I bet he was doing a lot behind the scenes. I bet he was. I don't think Bernie Mac could have a career today the way he used to drop gay slurs and talking about his sister's R-word kids. Oh. Brian says, get that money, said. And I'm not mad at him. I appreciate that he's like, look, I'm just trying to get paid, y'all. It's some stuff I want to say that I can't say because it'll mess up my money. Just the honesty. As many people as I hear, I ain't no sellout. Well, what about this? Well, you're a sellout. Nothing wrong with it. I appreciate basically saying, look, y'all, I sold out. I appreciate that. And I'm not mad at him for doing it. And I respect him for acknowledging it, maybe understanding it and acknowledging it and being willing to publicly say it. Anthony says, when you have a family to feed, it ain't about you anymore. That's right. That's right. And also the last comedy special that I saw from Cedric the Entertainer, he fell into that same trap. He was basically talking about his rich people problems. He was basically talking about the whole show was about his life and, you know, his rich people problems. His daughter brought her boyfriend over, and the boyfriend, you know, didn't respect his celebrity and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, I get it. That's what y'all got to joke about because that's what y'all live, but I can't identify with that. So, yeah, go ahead and make a TV show where you can make that money. Steve Harvey definitely isn't funny. Bernie and Seti Bear, really? Was the best on Kings of Comedy. Lewis says Bernie because he died. I don't know that that's a good reason to believe somebody's funnier than another person because they died. Let me see. The other shows that he was on were also family friendly. The Soul Man, the Steve Harvey Show, the movie The Honeymooners was also family friendly. He acts the same and all that to me. Matt can turn it out. B-Rab says, I'm going to see Corey Holcomb tomorrow night at the Funny Bone. Can't wait. I ain't been to the Funny Bone in a minute. Jerry Seinfeld or Kevin Hart? Who more funny? I have a problem even. It all depends on what you like, I guess. It all depends on what you like, I guess. I don't know. I don't think last that I saw of both of them do stand up, I don't think either is funny. Neither is funny to me anymore. So, I don't know. Everybody has a price. That's right. Kevin Hart said the same thing about selling out. What did Kevin Hart say? What did Kevin Hart say? With any job, if you don't do the things you would normally do, if presented with a certain situation, you selling out. Exactly. And that's not necessarily a negative thing. But people, you know, when you say somebody sold out, people always, oh, he's hating on it. No, you just acknowledging the truth of what's going on. With that is, my definition. If you go against what you would normally do, your principles, your values, whatever, strictly for money, you sold out. Let me see what. Scroll down. Lady K says that's what Chris Rock's special was. Rich people problems. Yeah. Who's the best up and coming comedian? I don't know. I'll be honest. I haven't really watched a lot of comedians lately. Something about a lot of the stuff that they doing ain't funny to me. It's not funny to me. So maybe I'll get back into, you know, kind of watching and figuring them out and everything. But a lot of the comedy has kind of gone the way of hip hop to me. And I don't really know how to explain that. But like, I understand you got to be creative to be a good hip hop artist. Production has to be you know what I'm saying? It's not like just some mindless something. It takes a level of creativity that I can't appreciate because I can't appreciate the art form because the art form, for the most part, does nothing for me. So I can look at I don't know, I'm going to say a Kanye West. And everybody, oh, he's a genius. And I'm like, he might be a genius. You know what I'm saying? He might be a genius. But his genius doesn't appeal to me because his art form doesn't appeal to me. And that's kind of the same way with some of the younger comedians, in particular the younger black comedians that I see. Like their art form, the way that they're doing what they're doing, their subject matter doesn't appeal to me. So it's not to say they're not creative, they're not good, they're not doing good, but they don't appeal to me. So I'm not really focused on it. I'm not really watching it. Pamela says, I think talking about sellouts, that's no different than a singer that is a gospel singer in their heart, but that contract they sign has the say of what they sing about. Again, anybody. If you are going against your principles, what you want to do, whatever, for the money, you're selling out. It's anybody. And it's not necessarily a negative thing. White people live by the I hope credo. Black people live by the I wish credo. So true. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. And just on the surface, of course, I have to disagree with it because it's like really general. And when you say white people live by this, that means all white people. But I mean, I'm sure that's not exactly what you're saying, but you know. Tony says Corey Holcomb is the truth. Boost or Blade says Corey Holcomb is not funny. See? So you got different people who view different things, the same thing, different ways. Hold on. You got people lusting after Cedric the Entertainer? I didn't see what Tria had to say. Tria, you want some D from Cedric the Entertainer? I missed whatever your initial comment was. But you're so right. I told Mr. Jones I'd leave him for, I'm not calling him that, but Cedric the Entertainer. Again, different people like different things. Okay. She wants some Cedric D. Let's see. I'm out of time, y'all. It's Friday. Cedric the Entertainer is your crush. Okay. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. You like what you like. We got Daryl says, I'm the only black guy in my department here at work. Did I sell out? I don't know. Did you? You know if you sold out. And who said it was anything about being the only black person there? Let me ask you this. Do you disagree with what you do morally, but you still take money to do it? Do you hate white people and you said, I will never work around white people, but you still take money to work around white people? Did you say at some point in your life, if I'm ever the only white or the only black person in my department, I'm not going to work there? And you looked around and you was the only black person, but then you looked at the check and you still feel that way, but you still do it for the money? If any of that stuff is true, you're probably a sellout. If not, I don't even understand the question. Who said that being the only black person makes you a sellout? Now you think selling out isn't a bad thing, but you diss tons of black people for taking the shot to keep their jobs. No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, if you remember, see, the people with their revisionist history, when you're rich, you can just think you can just make up a story and your history is no. I was on the radio at the time telling people, get the shot. I said, I'm not going to get it, but get that shot. I was on the radio. I never dissed anybody for doing it. Never. Not one time. So come on. Just because you're rich don't mean you can change history. Well, if you give me enough money, then I might agree with you. I'll sell out. You and Mike Jones get together. Y'all give me $12 million. And then I will agree that I was dissing people for taking the shot to keep their job. I sell out. I'm not above selling out. It's just, depending on what it's about and the amount. For that, $12 million. That's my price. $12 million. That's my price. Let's see. I got to get ready to get out of here. Let me scroll, make sure I get to the end of the comments. Valerie says, if you go to work every day, you're selling out. Well, I would say if you go on a sailboat, you're selling out. No doubt about it. But no, that's not true. Just like this. When I was going to work at the bus, I wasn't selling out. I wasn't selling out at all. I was doing what I enjoyed doing and getting paid for it. I was doing what I enjoyed because guess what? I don't get paid for it now and I still do that stuff. So you're not necessarily selling out if you go to work every day. Because some people do what they would do for free. They just get paid for it. Oh, the wish is the old Cedric joke. Oh, that's why I went over my business. Mind your business. Oh. TC says, everyone have a wonderful and safe weekend. Yes. She like a big belly and a receding hairline. That's why you here? That's why you here? You don't even get to see the belly. You only get to see the hairline. You only getting halfway satisfied watching this show. Let's see. Scroll. Having a birthday brunch for my niece tomorrow. Hope I don't cry. Poor people don't have brunch. We have breakfast or lunch. We don't have brunch. Brunch is for rich people. You have breakfast and then you have brunch and then you have lunch. And you probably, because I know you well enough to know you're going to have some caviar there. I know you well enough to know that. Caviar and them Ritz crackers. How little baby doing? Little baby doing just fine. She said to me the other day, we were in the car riding completely unprompted. Grandfather, are we going to go fly kites today? I was like, no, it's cold. Ain't nobody going to fly no kite in the cold. And she said, I can't wait till it get warm so that we can go fly kites and go to the playground. I know you like it when I have fun. I was thinking that, who were you talking to? Why would you just say that out of nowhere? But she's fine. She's fine. Did you ever say to yourself that you would defend black women, but when you saw a black woman getting beat up, you looked the other way? If so, you might be a sellout. Only if you were getting paid to look the other way. Only if you were getting paid. Like if you was like, I'm gonna go help her, and somebody was like, I give you $1,000 to look the other way. You like, well, I really want to help her, but I want that $1,000. So you look the other way. Then you a sellout. Let's see. Do anyone know who DC Young Fly, Carlos Miller, Country Wayne is? New, very funny comedians. I'm not aware of them. I'll look them up. Sure. I'll look them up. Jen is laughing about something. Rich ass OSHA stunting on us. Yeah, that's what she do when we ain't having no damn caviar or whatever. It's gonna be something with some pesto on it. Something with some pesto. I didn't even know what the hell pesto was. Tony says she calls you grandfather. Yes. Yes. That's exactly what she calls me. We had to cut that pawpaw stuff. Grandfather. And yes, that is exactly what she calls me. Rich people do brunch, watercress sandwiches, caviar, and mimosas. Y'all really believe Emanuel Livingston when he says I'm rich? They don't have to believe me. They can just pay attention to the stuff you say. They can pay attention to the stuff you say. Somebody said her name, give it away. Oh, and definitely gonna have mimosas. And you can't lie, you love pesto. I didn't even know what pesto was. I like pesto too. Stop it, Kim. Stop it. Don't be encouraging. Don't be encouraging this elitism. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. We didn't really talk about much of anything. But I had fun talking to y'all. Let me see. Let me get these graphics off the screen because I'm getting ready to get out of here. I hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Hope y'all have an amazing weekend. Oh, I saw Jason. Jason, I'll be sending you something either later on tonight or tomorrow morning that I need you to approve. And then I will try to get you those shirts tomorrow, actually. But you gotta, like the last time I sent you some text messages, you didn't respond for, felt like, 2 days? I can't move forward if you're not responding when I'm reaching out to you, bro. If I send you some stuff to approve, I can't do it until you approve it. So when I send you this stuff to approve, like if I send it to you tonight and you approve it tonight, it'll be done tomorrow. If I send it to you tomorrow morning and you approve it tomorrow morning, it'll be done tomorrow. But if I send it to you and then you don't approve it till Sunday night, you can't be like, well, where my stuff at? You didn't approve it. So I'm gonna be sending you some stuff. I appreciate y'all. Tony says, what is pesto? Some rich people stuff, man. It's some rich people stuff. I hear it's delicious, but, I think it's probably just some rich people stuff that rich people say is good because they the ones who eat it. Valerie Davis says, don't try me no more, ninja. What? Maybe you're talking to somebody else. I don't know what. You're talking to somebody else, right, Valerie? Not me. Because I didn't even say nothing to you. All right, I got to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate y'all. As always, I appreciate y'all's support. Have an amazing weekend. I hope something amazing happens in your life this weekend that changes your life for the good quickly. All right. It's been the afternoon experiment. I believe Wyatt Live is coming up next, or he might already be on. So go check out Wyatt Live. Type in Wyatt Live or Randall Wyatt. That's how you get to him. I'm telling you, I enjoy watching the show. I enjoy listening to him. He brings some clarity and thought. He brings good information. I don't always agree with him, but I'm always interested in hearing what he has to say. And he's actually changed my opinion on a thing or two. I say that like that's hard to do. It's really not. So go check out Wyatt Live. All right. Until next time, it's been the afternoon experiment. Hold on. I got to get ready to throw up the thing. And I get over here. It's been the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.